trust fund matters on behalf of management with the Plumbers Local 1 in New York City. So we negotiate collective bargaining agreements, manage the trust funds, handle arbitrations, do targets. So it's a trade association of licensed plumbing contractors in New York City.
And what is your connection to the New York Building Congress?
We are a member of the New York Building Congress, and probably, maybe even more importantly, we share office space with them. So we have a lot of fun together.
And how long have you known Dick Anderson?
I don't remember the exact date. I do remember the time we met, or the meeting. I don't remember exactly when that was, but it goes back to the late 1980s. When I was at the Buildings Department. I was the first Deputy Commissioner of the Buildings Department, and I had heard we were having a meeting with the Building Congress, and I had in my head, because I really didn't know anything about the Building Congress, that this was an organization of liberal, progressive building rights workers union, because it had the name Building Congress in it. Then Dick walked into the room, and after 30 seconds, that disabused me of that notion entirely.
And what was your impression?
My first impression, a statuesque, very intelligent man. I subsequently became disabused of that notion, but but his first impression was a very likable, reliable, and knowledgeable fellow.
So how would you describe Dick to somebody who doesn't know him?
Dick is a very affable, smart, knowledgeable, caring man who has a deep passion for his job in terms of getting all the parties, and the construction industry is a very diverse group, not only the particular trades, but sometimes the segments within those trades. And he has a unique ability to bring those segments together, which is, I think, the main role of the Building Congress.
Can you describe a significant memory you two share? A particular event?
I prefer not, but it's less business than personal. We became friends, as I think it's indicated. We are office mates, so we became friends, and we used to spend time together. Dick is, when I said earlier of some of the good traits of Dick, I left out some of the bad traits. One of them, he's not the most patient man in the world. And I remember one time he came up to my house in Connecticut, and I had just joined my club up there, my golf club, and we went to the golf course with some other fellows. And I said, "Dick, wait here. I will check us in." And he said, "Well, I want to go over and hit some golf balls." I said, "Please, just wait, 30 seconds. I just got to check in." I turn around after I check in. He's gone. He has now pulled up the cart all the way up onto the driving mat, where you're not allowed to park, and the golf pro is there, and the president of the club is there, and I'm just burying my head in the sand. I said, "Dick, what about waiting?" He goes, "We don't need to wait." But Dick is impatient, but I guess that's a good thing.
So tell me, what good things has he accomplished?
I think he's created a reputation for the Building Congress, which has been around a long, long time, and is difficult when you have an organization that's been around a long time to make it better. But he certainly has. The reputation of the Building Congress is, when you think of it, you initially think it's professional, well thought out. The documents and information they put out is first rate, and I think that will be his long-lasting legacy, is that the Building Congress is thought of in the top tier of the construction associations.
You too. You stay anything? No. Good. Do you think you've influenced stick?
I think, and hopefully I lighten them up a little bit. Sometimes you get a little too stiff. And I don't know if it was me or Ray Hopkins or a combination of both, but we used to like to rib him a little bit, and he took it very, at the beginning, maybe not so much, but as our relationship grew, I think he appreciated it more, and it's worked out real well.
And has he influenced you?
Absolutely. That you can't be around Dick, and when he's talking about, whether it's planning an event or issuing a report, and you see the passion he's got for doing that, that just feeds the professionalism in other people, because you want to be that high level quality.
What do you appreciate most about your affiliation or your membership at the Building Congress?
I think, realizing how difficult running what I consider an umbrella organization is, because you've got very disparate parts. Sometimes segments of the industry have opposing views on particular issues, and you've got to be a real diplomat to do that. And I really appreciate how Dick has done that so well. I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to talk about how his membership has grown and how much revenue has been brought in, but that is a testament to people trusting in him, is that maybe they're not, the Building Congress isn't going to take the right position on every single issue from their particular perspective, but people appreciate the role the Building Congress plays in city government and city life, and they want to be part of it.
So Dick has been here, we're debating whether it's 22 or 24 years, but definitely over 2 decades. Can you say from your perspective how the city of New York has changed over those 20 years and related to the Building Congress?
Well, to some extent, they both have professionalized. That the city is a much different place than it was 20 years ago. And was it, one little thing, one big thing rather, that changed it? No, it was incremental changes that made life better in the city. And I think the same is true of Dick. Whether it was issuing reports, coming up with grand ideas, creating the building foundation, or simply making sure that every document that goes out is first rate. Every wine selected at an outing is the correct wine. That the city and the Building Congress have both improved dramatically over the past 20 years.
So Dick has referred to this as his Jeter year.
Dick would.
I don't know if he was the first one to coin it, but we've been using it. So what would you like to see for him for the remainder of this time here?
I think he should go out to lunch more often, which I find impossible to believe, because I don't know how he does that now. But I think he should enjoy the next few months. That he's going to miss the interaction. I know he's going to stick around and have some relationship to the industry, but it's not going to be the same. And he's going to miss that. I know he's going to miss it because he cares, and for the past 20 or 22 or 24 years, he's cared so much about it. It'll be difficult for him to lose that daily interaction. And so I hope he soaks it in over the next few months.
Any other significant experiences you two have had that you want to discuss before I move on?
The only other thing that's always upset me a little bit about Dick is that when we go out to lunch or dinner or wherever we go, is that we both eat the same meals, and he looks like he does and I look like I do, which always upsets me. He can eat anything and still look like a rail. Really pisses me off.
Perfect. Couple of more lighter questions before we get to the end. What is something about Dick you can never forget?
That golf story. And the thing I'm looking forward to most when he leaves is that on the floor. We share a floor together, and we bought a Keurig machine about 10 years ago. And so everybody gets their own little cup of coffee. They already get their cup of tea. So we have something like 22 people on the floor, but we've got 37 flavors of tea and coffee. But Dick doesn't want to use the Keurig machine. He wants to use his own brewed coffee. So the day he leaves, gone. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Is there a trait of his you wish you had more of?
Yes. He's a diplomat. If he wasn't a professional in the construction industry, he would be great to be in the diplomatic corps. I am not one on spending money, especially other people's money, but each year there's an event out there and we say no, and invariably he turns it into a yes. But all kidding aside, that on substantive issues, he is a great diplomat and bringing people together. Just look at the letterhead of the Building Congress. It is a very disparate group, and he's the only one who could bring all those groups together.
Is there a sound that you associate with Dick?
A sound?
Do you recall how he silences a room of 1,000 people, what he does at the microphone?
You know what? That's a very good question, but I better pay attention the next time.
Well, it's nothing significant really, except that he goes, shh. Do you recall that?
No, but he's got such a stature, and he does those things so well, right? That I know it appears off the cuff when he moderates an event that he just sort of comes up with these questions, and maybe he does, but it looks so effortless that he's very well prepared, or he's a lot smarter than I think.
Are there any words of wisdom, the lesson learned that you want to give Dick? Any advice?
Have a great time, and try to not be home very much because we all like Anne, and we don't want to place too great a burden on her.
Do you have a favorite bottle of wine that you shared with Dick, or a favorite meal?
Wine, I never think about ordering the wine when I'm with Dick. I mean, why would you do that, right? Because I know whatever I pick, he would send back. There's no doubt about that. So I happen to remember fondly and I'm not sure it was necessarily the food or the company, but our floor party when the three organizations go out, the MCA, the Building Congress, and the Contracting Plumbers Association. When our staffs go out together at Christmas time, we have a real good time. What I do remember is that when we used to go out to a place, Moran's, that we all had to select, your fish or your chicken or your steak. And so we all selected that, the 24 of us or whatever it was. And then they bring the food, and so everybody gets their chicken or fish or steak, but then they bring out 2 lobsters for Dick. So we all look at him, and he goes, "What do you want? What do you want from me? I'm Dick Anderson. What do you want?" And it was like, yeah, okay.
Yep. Off the menu.
Off the menu Anderson, right? That's what we should call him.
Okay.
I do want to add that the one thing that he should know is that now that he's not going to be the leader of the Building Congress, he's going to have to pay for some of his meals himself. And he's got a plan for that.
That's in his estate plan. Is there something about Dick you always want to remember?
Yeah, he's a very well thought of and genteel man. Genteel in the best sense of the word. I mean, a real class act. And I don't think I've ever heard him say a crass word about about anyone. And I certainly can't say that about myself. And I think that's a real testament to his character.
Okay. Now,
You want to try that again?
you want to say that again because you coughed in the middle?
Okay, I can't remember what I said.
I asked you if there's something about Dick